Today for Women's History Month, I would like to focus on strength. The person who defined strength for me was a woman that was so fierce that entire armies feared her, so skilled that no man could defeat her in combat, and so bold that she rejected every suitor who dared to challenge her, amassing 10,000 horses as proof of her dominance. That woman was Khutulun, the legendary Mongol warrior princess whose story of defiance, strength, and independence makes her a true icon. Khutulun, whose name in Mongolian I cannot pronounce but I will put on the screen, which means moonlight or shining moon, was the great-granddaughter of Genghis Khan and the only daughter out of 15 children for Khan Kaidu, the cousin of Kublai Khan. Her dad wanted her to be as strong as her 14 older brothers, and so instead of having her learn more traditional feminine things, he taught her how to be a warrior. He taught her how to ride horses. He taught her how to shoot arrows and to wrestle and to do all of the things that a member of the Mongolian Calvary would do. Khutulun did not just do well at these tasks. She absolutely crushed them. Everything she tried to do, she excelled at, and she was most successful when it came to hand-to-hand combat and wrestling. Having 14 older brothers probably didn't hurt in that particular regard, but they made sure that she learned how to fight early on and to fight well. Wrestling is a tradition in Mongolia. To this day, it is the national sport. And so it's taken very, very seriously. When Khutulun reached a certain age, her dad decided it was time for her to get married. He was incredibly powerful, and he wanted her to find someone in an also powerful family. But she didn't want to be married. She wanted to live her life the way that she wanted. And so after much arguing back and forth, she finally relented and told her dad, "Okay, fine. You want me to get married? I will. But I'm only going to marry the man who can beat me in a wrestling match." Now, winning her hand in marriage would have been a very big deal. She was very rich. Her dad was incredibly powerful. And so it was not hard to find a line of people who were willing to take on the challenge. The entry fee was supposedly 10 horses. But that was a small price to pay because if you win, you get to marry the princess. Pretty much everyone from locals to foreign princes saw this as an opportunity to marry into the great family of Genghis Khan, and they wanted to have their shot at facing her. By the time she was 20, she came into contact with the famed explorer Marco Polo. She claimed to have a pasture full of 10,000 horses, but she did not have a single husband. Khutulun was incredibly different from all of the other women that Marco Polo had ever met, and so he was very intrigued by her, and he wrote about her in some of his stories. One of them was about a prince who met with Khutulun in private and just basically said that if you please let me win, I will be good forever. And she looked at him, and according to Marco Polo, she said that she would never let herself be vanquished if she could help it, but that if he did indeed beat her, then she would gladly be his wife. The next day, people from throughout the city came to watch the fight, and the damsel threw him right valiantly on the palace pavement. And when he found himself thus thrown and her standing over him, great indeed was his shame and discomfort. She refused to submit to anyone. She was not going to submit to a marriage for political gain, and she was going to do things on her terms, period. Defying the patriarchy before it was cool. On top of her personal wrestling skills, she was a military genius. She fought alongside her father in multiple battles, earning a reputation for her ferocity as well as her tactical intelligence. She often rode into battle right at her father's side, often breaking through enemy lines and seizing captives herself. Now, during this time period, most women didn't have any rights, but Mongol women were among some of the most socially, politically, and militarily advanced women anywhere on earth. They traditionally didn't fight in battles, but it wasn't rare to see them fighting alongside men. And when a Mongol civil war broke out between her dad and Kublai Khan, who was the ruler of the dynasty in China, basically because her dad from Central Asia was upset with Kublai Khan, essentially like losing some of their traditions and like as he said, making their claim less powerful, essentially not holding on to their traditional values. Khutulun was notoriously at his side helping lead the cavalry in battle. According to Marco Polo, not a knight in all his train played such feats as arms as she did. Sometimes she would quit her father's side and make a dash at the army of the enemy and seize some man thereout, as deftly as a hawk pounces on a bird, and carry him to her father. Her father died in 1301, and right before he died, he appointed her to succeed him as the new Khan. She respectfully declined. She didn't want to live life as a ruler. She wanted to be free to do what she felt like doing. Khutulun is a powerful reminder that women have always been capable of greatness, even in the face of rigid societal norms. Her refusal to accept gender norms, her tactical genius, and her unyielding strength makes her a true icon.